Welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is.
I am occasionally known as Reverend Steve, the founder of the Church of Ed Wood. These days, I'm primarily known as May Lynn. I am a trans woman, married, parent, stay-at-home mom, podcaster, lover of fine cheeses, raconteur, and the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, which is a real thing worth a Google. This episode is dedicated to victims of the coronavirus and xenophobia. That's how this week's movie started. A movie I like to call Canadian Screaming, the movie.
Yes.
That's what I like to call this week's film. It's horrible. But we're not there yet. It's episode 433 of the podcast, and tomorrow will be 2 weeks that I have been on estrogen and testosterone blockers. I am officially transitioning into a woman, and I said, man, I can't wait to start the podcast talking about being on estrogen. That's going to be a great intro to the podcast. Well, that is definitely how I'm going to start it. Well, unless some massive historical thing happens between then and now, but that definitely won't happen. There's only one thing to talk about, me being on estrogen. So we're currently doing the podcast every other week, which means that we missed a big-time bit of news, an historical event that we have to talk about in the beginning of the podcast because this is a big-time deal. It affects everybody. It affects everyone. We have to talk about it. Bunny!
Yes.
Are you ready to talk about this?
Sure.
Okay. In a landmark legal decision, an historic legal decision, Ohio State University now owns the trademark to the word "the."
Really?
Yes.
The.
word "the" is owned by Ohio State University. This actually happened. I am being 100% serious. This story affects us all.
Okay, how did they get ownership of the word the?
Okay, so apparently Ohio State likes to go by the phrase "the Ohio State University," which, who cares? I don't. But apparently they do, and so they applied for and received the copyright, and now it has a trademark for the word "the," for the word "the" specifically. They have a trademark for the word "the" as it applies to sports apparel.
Okay.
So they officially own the copyright for the word "the" as it in terms of sports apparel. So I guess Arizona State University can't go by the Arizona State because Ohio State University has the trademark for the word "the." Well, wouldn't it be like a crazy ass trip if Ohio State got all Metallica about it?
Yeah.
Suddenly, Guardians of the Galaxy shirts say Guardians of a Galaxy because Ohio State might sue them. I think that'd be neat. How weird! How do you land that? That's incredible.
Yeah, only because the world is insane now and nothing makes any sense anymore. That's how.
Ohio State University being given the trademark for the word "they," "the." This is obviously the biggest news story right now, but without a doubt, this. I haven't been watching the news, but I'm assuming this is what everybody's talking about. In fact, I've seen people all over the place protesting Ohio State, and
Yes.
they're receiving this a trademark. At least I think that's what they're protesting.
And people are putting up pictures to adopt Ohio State, Weird.
Yeah. Very bizarre. You want to talk about abortion, Bunny?
Sure.
I feel like we should. And maybe not the funnest conversation, but come here, Amber. I need more feminine perspectives other than mine. What do you have to say about abortion, Amber? Mm-hmm. Uter us, not uter old white men.
Yeah, like literally the baby could be nothing outside of the uterus.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they have more say for a thing that can't even speak
Mm-hmm.
or have a brain to speak. I have a lot to say in my uterus and the rest of my body. I can carry my gun anywhere I want. Yeah, I'm glad that my uterus, the baby, well, no, the fetus in my uterus can open carry freely.
Yeah.
In this nation. Oh,
Well, yes, you've lost body autonomy and you no longer have control over what happens to your own body, but
my fetus gained it.
But at least you won't see at least little kids won't see a rainbow flag hanging in their room that they're boarded up in while someone tries to kill them.
Yes. Yep.
So, hooray! Yay, America! Just in time for the 4th of July.
On my birthday. They did that on my birthday.
They did do it on your birthday. People.
That was rude.
Right? Very
Yeah.
freaking rude. I was like, I gained the right to drink, but not the right over my body.
Yep. Isn't that something?
Yeah, now I gotta worry about them turning back LGBT stuff. And then it's like, am I gonna be in trouble for being brown eventually? We'll find out.
Yep.
No, because you're with another brown person. Now your mother and I, we might get in trouble for the interracial relationship.
Yep. We definitely will. Technically, I am American, so that's one plus. But
technically, they can work it out.
Yeah, that's why I added the technically.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I have 2 sausage McMuffins or egg McMuffins over here, and then a whole bag of popcorn over here, and I'm eating throughout the entire podcast. I know that that's not professional, and I know that when it comes to this podcast, people expect a certain level of professionalism.
Yes. Yes, they do.
But ever since I started the estrogen and testosterone blockers, I am never not hungry. I just have to eat 24/7. Puberty, like suddenly my body is like Lord of the Rings. We've been through puberty, yes, but what about second puberty? And so that sucks. And the doctor who prescribed me the estrogen, she's like, oh, one of the major side effects is mood swings and random crying. And I'm like, so what's new? At least now when it happens, I can say, I have a reason. Pills. I'm taking pills and not getting shot at the moment, and I'm pretty excited about that. Okay. The way I see the current state of the Supreme Court is this is like it's like I've been wondering why all of a sudden there's this big like the Supreme Court is like suddenly every day is just some new way that they're fucking us.
Yes.
But the way I see it is the pressure is on Clarence Thomas right now because his wife, Ginny Weasley Thomas, is a batshit crazy QAnon insurrectionist, far-right Proud Boy supporting ass face. And it's
But let's stop right there. Let's stop right there first and establish that Ginny Thomas is a long-time lunatic. Like, this is nothing new for her. She was back in the 70s in a self-help cult.
Mm-hmm.
for which charges were pressed. And now, so for her, it's just like, new day, same cult kind of a thing.
When I heard that Ginny Weasley Thomas was in a self-help cult, my first thought was, oh shit, she in that sex cult with the young blonde chick from Smallville? Was she in that sex cult?
Maybe.
No, it's not the sex cult.
She might have dabbled in that in between.
They should try and get it. I bet the Scientologists could get her. Probably.
Yeah, right?
They don't want her? Yeah, they don't want her. But her nutso-ness has definitely affected Clarence Thomas and his work on the highest court in the land. And so for Clarence Thomas and the Republicans, it's basically like a fire sale. Like,
yeah.
Oh shit, they found me out. Quick, before they stop us, before they finally make me accountable for my actions, let's pass them out batshit insane stuff while we still can.
Yes.
So abortion is legal, teachers can pray in school.
Right.
The environment is even more fucked than it was before.
Open carry is a federal law.
Open carry is a federal law. They passed, what was the other one? Like the federal government can now arrest you and try you for things that happen on tribal land.
I have not heard that one yet. No, I don't doubt it, but I haven't heard it yet.
What was the other one? Oh, yeah, Miranda rights. They don't really matter anymore. If the police arrest you and they say the Miranda rights, oh, that's fine. That's fine. It's not a big deal. That was the other one. There's like all of this fucked up shit happening right now.
And along with what they are planning on covering.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the damage that they have done right now and recently, while we're still talking about Roe and not talking about much of any of the other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we're fucked.
We absolutely are.
There is no way that we're not going to go through a great period of darkness under the fascist state. There's no way, because there's nobody who is doing anything to fucking stop it.
Yeah. Nothing. Nothing at all.
Through all of it, the Democrats have been like, what can we do?
Our vice president on Twitter today said that it's the people's responsibility to vote for leaders that will help fight what is happening in government, and the only way to stop this is by voting in Democrats. And it's like, that's what we did. We did that. Now, and yet, how is it that a majority of Americans are now ruling over it? We're under minority rule right now, and it's fucked up.
Yes.
We voted you all in, and you're still not doing anything.
No. But what they are doing is the day the Roe decision comes down, the fucking Democratic Party stands outside of the Supreme Court and sings, God bless America, because they passed a gun law prohibiting hamsters from getting handguns.
Yeah. And then the thing that pisses me off,
in other words, a gun law that's not really worth much.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to stand there and sing, God bless America, while half of the fucking population becomes second-hand citizens.
Yeah. The thing that upsets me is that I just know for a fact that, tomorrow, in like the next episode of the podcast, 2 weeks from now, we could be recording that episode, and oh, hey, let's talk about all the other things that were passed. Gay people are now illegal. Trans people are being hunted down. interracial marriage is against the law now, and yet Biden would still be, oh, violence is not the answer. We need to reach across the aisle and to
Yeah.
compromise with our Republican brothers.
Yeah. So the Democrats get anti-abortion Cuellar into office. Joe Biden, this is awesome. This is fucking awesome. Joe Biden makes a deal with Mitch McConnell.
Yep.
Like, right with that sentence, I have a problem. Okay. So he is going to seat an anti-abortion, basically Republican. I mean, the D and the R thing, like, really hardly matters anymore.
Yeah.
To a lifetime judicial seat, so that later, sometime later, when Joe Biden wants to appoint somebody else, Mitch McConnell won't challenge it. We're just gonna trust Mitch on that.
Yeah, like we trusted Mitch on it before, right?
Yeah. It's fucked up. Yeah. It's ridiculous that he's still trying to reach across the aisle. And he's out here saying, like, he has, for his entire life, up until recently, Joe Biden has been anti-abortion. In the 80s and 90s, he was voting against abortion and wanted abortion to be illegal. And so now he's out here saying, like, oh, women have a fundamental right. Women have a fundamental right. That's my Joe Biden. Women have a fundamental right to abortion. But I'm not going to do anything to stop it. Bye.
Yeah.
And he leaves. And it's like, okay, well, that definitely says that without saying anything, you've told us your opinion.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything to stop this.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. But it's us, because we have to vote for more Democrats to not do anything.
Yeah. Well, you got to get out there and vote. We did. And you should be in charge now, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything at all.
Like I have been posting on a lot of the Democrat forums, the Democrats have told me that there is nothing that they can do so many times that I believe them.
Yep. And I'm in.
You convinced me. You convinced me. There's nothing you could do. Why should I vote for you?
I'm in a lot of trans groups and a lot of trans female groups on Facebook and trans Twitter and stuff. And what I'm hearing from people is that, like, we're next. That's what I'm hearing a lot of. There's a lot of panic in the trans world, and a lot of trans people, like, just to be safe, you should be stocking up on your medicine. You should be making sure that legal arrangements and yada, yada, yada. And if you're married, you need to make sure that, like, really horrible stuff.
I think shit's going to explode so quickly that the idea of who next isn't really going to quite apply.
Yeah.
Like, you're next by what? Like a day?
Mm-hmm.
And then they do something horrible to another marginalized group?
Yeah.
I
think the next...
They're definitely coming after you. They're coming after all of us now.
Yeah. I think the next thing that the Republicans are going to do is they're just going to make, hey, gay people, trans people, and immigrants, they're now classified as abortions.
Yeah.
And are illegal. So there you go. We're living under minority rule right now. The far right don't have a majority in our government, and yet they're 100% in charge of our entire government. That's not a democracy.
Oh no, democracy is over. And again, that's like, what's the point in even voting anymore? You know, so like there's literally nothing we can do about it. There's nothing to do but to go through it and let it get violent. Because it's gonna get violent on its own.
And it's like the Democrats are doing nothing but campaigning on it.
Oh yeah, send them money.
All they're doing is raising money, and that's it. I'm so hungry, Bunny, all of the time.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry. This estrogen. I mean, I am growing 2 new appendages, so I understand why my body is just like wanting to eat all of the time. I get it. It just sucks. So hungry.
So what else is going on?
What else?
What other? No. What other bodily changes are happening?
Oh, a lot of. It's only been 2 weeks, so it's difficult to tell. I do, I, I do believe that I've been acting more emotional. Um, Anything can make me cry, so that sucks. Um, and I feel like I'm getting a bit more tired during the day, like in the afternoon. Usually I felt the same throughout a day, but now like it I just in the afternoon I just want to take a nap. And I occasionally get headaches, but beyond that,
Yeah, that's a Jeannie raises a good point. So is that the medication, or are you just getting old?
yeah, that's another thing too. Is that like I'm in my 40s, so these are all
Because you're really not sharing any experiences here that I'm not experiencing.
yeah. So the thing is that I've only been on it for 2 weeks. The changes will start happening like months to it, and so like I'm looking in the mirror, looking to see. Oh, is there any changes yet? Are there any changes yet? But it's a it's a it's a marathon. It's a long marathon and not a short race. So there are not much changes right now, other than I am hungry 24/7 and need to keep eating. Besides that, everything's good. But it should be a couple more months until I get actual breasts that aren't plastic that I purchased on Walmart. They at Amazon. You don't have fake breasts. But yeah, I'm exhausted all the time, and I'm
And
sore.
are there particular foods that you're gravitating to?
No, uh, well, I've been eating a lot more popcorn. A lot more popcorn. I
Yeah.
want burgers all of the time, and it's just a really difficult time to want to eat so many burgers because hamburger prices are through the freaking roof right now.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I can't make a hamburger helper 24/7, which I bet my kids are excited to hear. But, uh, 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 but no, there aren't any like weird cravings. I have heard from a lot of other trans women that they do get like strange ass cravings for stuff, but no, I just want to eat. Period.
Yeah.
All of the time, doesn't even matter what. I just need to eat. Uh, so that's exciting. I do feel though like I'm glowing just all of the time. Not
Yeah.
not in like a good skin sort of way, but just in the I just feel like I'm more positive, more I'm radiating love is the way that I like
And
to
it
see it.
shows.
I'm
And it shows in your pictures.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah,
The real
I'm
smile.
just very. It's so nice to finally just look in the mirror and see myself. I feel like I haven't seen myself in a really long time.
Yeah.
But it's really nice. It's really nice. It gets to the point now where, like, oh, I got to run to the bank really quick and then run to the post office. And I just go. It gets to the point where if I'm male presenting, it feels weird.
Yeah.
So, like, I just put on just some random pants and a t-shirt, and I don't put on makeup, and I don't put in my boobs. And I just go out, and it's like, oh my god, I can use my normal voice. I don't have my purse. This is odd. So I'm excited about that. So tired, so out of it, all of the time. Oh, I saw that freaking Elvis movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. First off, it's almost like 3 hours long. Which
Oh
is ridiculous.
God.
Secondly, it's mostly about Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh,
Who's
there's a movie
Tom
about
Hanks,
Venus.
right?
Yeah. Oh, there's a movie about Venus and Serena Williams, and then it's really all about their dad.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that. It says Elvis, and there's Elvis songs. This is the Colonel Tom Parker story. So, okay, so in the movie La La Land, it's a musical film all about how one white guy.
10-minute warning.
Oh, I see that. One white guy is the greatest jazz player of all time. White people are the only people that play jazz, and he saves jazz.
Yes.
White guy saving jazz. So according to Boz Luhrmann's Elvis, um, Elvis Presley was one of the biggest civil rights leaders of all time, and he stopped racism.
Oh really?
Yeah. Elvis ended racism. He brought blacks and whites together, and he was a hero. And he was so broken up when Martin Luther King died, and he just loves black people, and he really fought racism throughout America. What a hero! He ended racism. That being said, when Elvis started singing "Suspicious Minds," I did get excited and sing along in the theater because that song's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
So like, was that's what the movie was kind of covering?
A large portion of it was about Elvis and racism and civil rights. And it's like, okay, I feel like this is a bit of a stretch. The way that it felt to me was, well, hey there, I'm Elvis. And because this movie's coming out in 2022, this is all about how I love black people. And it's like, okay, I don't think that Elvis was as Black Lives Matter as this movie would lead us to believe.
Elvis always struck me as just too drugged out to really know what he was doing at any fucking point. And he just got put places.
That's another thing, too. It talks a lot about how Elvis was, a hero of civil rights, and barely talks about substance abuse.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off. There were a lot of things in the movie. There were a lot of things I hoped to be in the movie that they really didn't show. They didn't show his shitty movies. They
Right.
didn't show him dying on a toilet. They didn't show him meeting Andy Kaufman and saying that Andy Kaufman was his favorite Elvis impersonator. They didn't mention his obsession with
13-year-old girls.
with the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They didn't show him meeting Dolores Fuller. Not once did it mention Vampira. The whole movie was bullshit.
Yes.
Plus, I love Tom Hanks. I love him very much. He's an amazing man, David S. Pumpkins, but he was all over the place. Sometimes he was bouncing off the walls so much as like the evil bad guy, Colonel Tom Parker, that it's like You might as well have just have gotten Jim Carrey to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Elvis, my boy. We are going to be. He's got this weird accent. And it's not until the end of the movie that you realize that they finally mention the fact that he's like actually not American and he's
I
hidden the truth about his past. But the whole movie, he's talking like he's fucking, like he's talking almost like he's Tor Johnson.
I have come up with right now, while we're doing this, the movie that Tom Hanks really, really needs to do next.
Okay.
A drama. A serious, oh, I don't know, coming of age, but like we're talking old age. Okay?
Mhm.
Bachelor Party 2.
That is such a great idea.
So he's dealing with his, because Tawny Kitane's dead now. So he's like dealing with his dead wife and what they have gone through the years and which of his friends are in prison, and Adrian Zemed, definitely white collar criminal. Definitely white collar criminal, right? So he's like rubbing elbows with Jeffrey Cohen, you know?
Adrian Zemed. Now
Yeah.
there's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Yes.
A long time.
A long time. Well, there was the moment where, Tom Hanks and Adrian Zemed, just like that. Just like that. Do you think Tom ever calls Adrian anymore? Probably not, the fuck.
I don't know. I imagine that um I'd like to also think that Tom Hanks and Corey Feldman still talk because of the Burbs.
Yeah.
I bet they're
Yeah.
buds. Hang out all the time. Hey,
Nobody.
Hey, do you want to be in Forrest Gump with me? And he's like, no, I'm good. You can have this one.
Nah, nobody talks to Corey Feldman anymore. He's just gotten too fucking weird.
Yeah. Oh, so that's the intro. Almost, almost. We've got about 3.5 minutes left before Zoom kicks us out and we redo. Yeah, we're going to be doing Shap in a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different. A lot of it's going to be talking about me. A lot of it's going to be just. I'm going to be reading directly from Wikipedia for a
You gonna what?
specific reason. I'm going to be reading directly. I'm going to be reading Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia, the free online encyclopedia that anyone can edit.
Is it going to be a dramatic reading?
Kind of. It'll make sense in the context of what else is happening in Chap.
Okay.
And this week's movie almost broke me, dude.
Yeah?
It almost broke me. I was this close to just losing it.
Okay.
Emotionally.
I was high as fuck. And I was really enjoying it. I
not
was
high.
really
I do
enjoying
not
this
get
movie.
high. Neither do I drink.
We were kind of like doing a show, with people rap
Mystery
on.
Science
Yes,
Theater? Yeah, we were ripping this movie up some good time.
during the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this week's movie so bad.
So I was having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were having fun with it.
It's a horrible movie, but it is historically horrible.
Yes.
You don't remember Insight
No, I don't remember Insight.
by the Council of Churches?
No, I don't remember that at all.
that would either come on before or after Davy Goliath, depending.
No, I don't remember it at all.
Oh my God.
I probably tuned out.
Maybe it was more of a local show.
Well, it was a lot like this movie. I don't think so, because Groove Tube, the whole drug dealer Cheech and Chong ripoff section of the movie Groove Tube was basically a ripoff of Insight at the end.
Groove Tube.
So I don't know if it was.
Podcast? I don't think we have.
I'm not sure. I think we might have.
We absolutely should if we have.
We might have done it with Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah. I remember we did Kentucky Fried Movie. I love Amazon Women on the Moon. It's a really good parody of Cat Women on the Moon.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you some of that green cheese. So that's it for our intro. We're going to take a quick little break. Zoom's going to kick me off soon, and then we're going to head right into Steve's Historic Approximations. We're going to be talking about Muppets. It's going to be very cool. So we will see you in just a second. I'm impressed that it hasn't cut off yet, less than a minute.
Yeah.
So,
Well, now you got to find the right phrase to be saying to be cut off on. Like that. I think I got it. I think I nailed it. So everybody who's still following the stream, because the stream's not shutting off, I think I just nailed the shit out of that. Because it's mostly just a matter of starting up Zoom again, which only takes a minute to talk over it, I guess. I mean, it's like long enough for it to get a little bit boring, but like not long enough to like have something set up to play. Because it would be looking for things to play in the 1 to 2 minute range. Twice or 3 times.
Well, that's a good spot to put a little commercial.
And he's in chat. What?
I said that's enough time to do a little commercial.
For what? And then I have
I'm
to.
not arguing with you. I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't know what I just did there.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There we go. I see you.
can you hear me all right?
I can hear you now.
Is the microphone good, or do I need to switch to another one?
No, it sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay.
It's moving back and forth where it loses it.
We are good. And we're back, everybody. You timed that perfectly, Bunny. That was so good. That was so perfect. Okay, so let's continue now with the Pope on film. Alright!
Yes.
If you're like me, you're no doubt a big fan of this podcast, The Pope on Film. I mean, everybody is. Sure, we all do. But let's be honest, only the real fans, the true hardcore fans who have been with us since the beginning, since the year 2000, when this podcast started out as an AOL IM exclusive. That was back in the day. We started out as the first IM exclusive
Yes.
show. Those were the good old days. But the true fans out there would know two facts about us, two totally really real facts about the both of us, America's hottest couple, Bunny and Steve. First and foremost, the first fact, which is about you, is that in your spare time, and this is true, you are a cryptozoologist. So tell us, Bunny, what is new in the cryptozoology world?
In the cryptozoology world, there has been a major breakthrough as we have discovered and do now have in captivity a live basilope.
Nice.
Berkey breathed, or whatever the hell his name is,
I think that's how you pronounce it.
was 100% right.
100%.
Basilope walk among us.
No, a basilope. It's half basset hound and half antelope. The basilope.
Yes.
And it's female. Maybe a couple of them, yeah. And shredded cheese, that'd be nice. I dig that.
A basilope sandwich?
No. We're
You are hungry.
I am. I'm so hungry all of the time. Yeah. That's great. And the second fact that you would know about me is that I'm a lover of history. I love it, but I'm also a storyteller. So what we like to do here at this point in the show is find a story from the history books maybe people don't know too well and reword it by my own unique panache. And that's what this is, another educationally uneducational installment of Steve's Historic Approximation!
Dun, dun, dun.
Or SHAP, as I like to call it, repeatedly, annoyingly, whether anyone wants me to or not. Now, personally, I like the name SHAP, and to be clear, that's capital S-H-A and a lowercase p, S-H-A-P. I want to get specific about this for all you people playing along at home. Anywho, this week on the old Shappity Shap Chap, we will be talking about the dark and seedy side of Sesame Street and how sometimes the tall tales that kids tell each other are lies with a little bit of truth to them. And let's talk about that first. When you're a kid, you hear things from other kids.
Yes.
And they're not always right. Sometimes they're wildly far from being right. But when you're a kid, you hear things, rumors, stories about famous people, places, and things, and most of the time they're total bullshit. When I was a kid in the 80s, the scuttlebutt around the playground was that Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a live bat at every concert.
At every concert.
Every city, every concert, everywhere. He just apparently just had like a bucket of bats and just every night. And everyone cheered. He did it every night because he was evil and satanic in his 80s.
Yes.
And the most evil thing that you could do in the 80s was sing Stairway to Heaven backwards.
Yes.
Still never figured that out, but that was the most evil thing in the world. I guess, yes. A Stairway to Heaven backwards would be an escalator to heck. Of course this was all bullshit, but occasionally the kids got a little bit of it right. You know,
Okay.
not all of it, But sometimes the kids in the playground, the scuttlebutt around the playground, did have a little bit of truth to it. Here is an example. This is an example from my own life, but I didn't say this. I never said this. I want to make that perfectly clear. I didn't say this. But in 1987, 1988, the boys at school, at the private Catholic school that I went to, what everyone said was that Jim Neighbors,
Yes.
a.k.a. Gomer Pyle, he was gay and he died of AIDS.
Okay.
I didn't say that. That is what they said. The kids.
Well, our rumor, because we had that too, but it was Jim Neighbors was gay, and his boyfriend was Richard Chamberlain.
Richard Chamberlain. Hold on. Let me Wikipedia this because there was some famous person that he was rumored to be with. Jim Neighbors. I keep wanting to spell neighbor as an actual neighbor, and I keep effing it up. I keep wanting N-E-I-G-H-B-O-R-S. A long-standing rumor maintains that Neighbors married actor Rock Hudson in the early 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, that's weird. But, yeah, apparently he was rumored to be with a bunch of different people. But, okay, but what I heard when I was a kid was that Jim Neighbors was gay and that he died of AIDS in 87 and 88. That's what they said. Now, Jim Neighbors didn't die in the 80s. He actually died in 2017.
Yes.
At the age of 87. Like, wow, that's incredible. But I did not know this. Jim Neighbors was, in fact, gay, and he married his longtime partner in 2013. Like, good job for you, Gomer.
Yes.
You know? Damn, good job for you, Muscle Talk. Love is love is love. Fucking good.
Well, I remember somewhere around 2000, Richard Chamberlain, he was Dr. Kildare, he was in Shogun, Thornbirds. Yeah.
My mom was obsessed with Shogun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a long-standing rumor about him being gay until somewhere around 2003, 2004, something like that. He had finally, officially came out. He had written a book. He had done a talk show circuit, and nobody cared.
Poor Richard Chamberlain.
Yeah, right? I want to get back there. It would be a big deal again.
Yeah.
I want to get back there. That was fucking awesome.
Dang. Oh, so sad. So what I'm saying is, in the context of the scuttlebutt around the playground, is sometimes the BS that kids say to each other at school does have a hint of truth to it. No, Jim Neighbors didn't die, but he was gay, and I didn't know that, and so, okay, good for him. That brings us to Sesame Street.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I was also, before going on to Sesame Street, I just want to lay it out that I was also the Pop Rocks and Coke generation.
Yes.
Okay. And the Spiders in the Bubble Yum generation. The spider eggs.
I didn't know about the spider and the bubble yum, but I definitely heard that Mikey from the Life commercials died of Pop Rocks and Coke.
Yes. Yes.
I definitely heard that when I was a kid. Yeah.
That was our internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so. Okay, so when I was a kid, one of my favorite Sesame Street characters, live action, one of the things that I've always told people at story times and stuff like that is like, hey, you kids know Elmo? When I was growing up, Elmo didn't exist, and Grover was the Elmo.
Yes.
Grover was all over the place. He was starring in the books. He was in all these skits. He was a waiter. He was a suddenly Elmo comes along, and you barely see Grover. Pisses me off. But one of my favorite Sesame Street characters was David.
Okay. Which one was he?
Cool black guy. He worked at Mr. Hooper's store. And he ran it when Mr. Hooper died. He took over the store. He was just this cool, fairly young black guy in the 70s. Like, he was dating Maria.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then the
okay.
writer broke them up, and Maria went to go date, I think, Luis. But I had forgotten that David even existed until a long-lost piece of lost media appeared. And we talked about this in the last episode. In 1978, there was an episode of Sesame Street that played that featured the actress Margaret Hamilton reprising her role as the Wicked Witch of the West. And it was considered so scary for young kids that they banned it. They took it off of circulation, and it only played once in 1978. It never played again. It was thought to be lost until it randomly popped up like a few weeks ago on Reddit. And so my wife and I watched it together, and it's very David heavy, this episode. David's all over that, and I had forgotten about David from Sesame Street, and that brought out a crazy old memory from my childhood that sent me down an insane rabbit hole, and that's what this chap is about. Because, see, when I was a kid, what people would say, what the kids said, the scuttlebutt around the playground was that David from Sesame Street went crazy. The police arrested him naked on top of someone's house, naked and yelling, "I'm David from Sesame Street." That's what the rumor was that the kids said.
Okay.
That's what the kids said. The rumor that David from Sesame Street went crazy. The police arrested him naked on top of a house, naked and screaming, "I'm David from Sesame Street." I had forgotten all about this until I saw this Lost Sesame Street episode with Margaret Hamilton. And so finally, after so many years, decades really, I finally just, that's a really great, I can't believe that this legendary lost media was finally found. Really incredible. And also, David from Sesame Street, he looked really good. I forgot about him. You know what? Whatever did happen to David from Sesame Street? Because now that I think about it, the kids at school said something, but, let me look it up. So I checked Wikipedia, the free online encyclopedia that anyone can edit, and I looked it up. And you would be surprised at how much what the kids at the playground said was 100% freaking true.
Really?
Yes! I can't believe this. I shan't believe it. In fact, it's so shocking that I didn't bother writing it out. Rewording this historical moment in my own unique storytelling style. I'm just going to read this. The actor's name is Northern Calloway. That's David's real name. He was on Sesame Street from 1971 to 1989, but in the 80s they slowly phased him out. So it's surprising that David was still on Sesame Street when Michael Keaton was Batman. That's weird. I thought he left in the 80s, but I don't think he left in the 80s. I just think I grew up in the 80s and started watching Sesame Street. So he was a stage actor. He was a Broadway stage actor. He was in Pippin. Whose Life Is It Anyway? Tiger at the Gates. In 71, he joined the cast of Sesame Street in the second season. He was the boyfriend of Maria in the lost episode of Sesame Street. Maria is really young. She's like 26 or 27. And She looks amazing. She looks really good. So okay. Apparently, Northern Calloway, I think he was bipolar. So here's the part of his Wikipedia labeled legal troubles, health problems, and final years on Sesame Street. Most of this comes from a book, Street Gang: The Complete History of Sesame Street. So buckle up because this is crazy.
Okay.
On the morning of September 19th, 1980, Calloway was arrested in Nashville, Tennessee. He had been a guest in the home of Mary Stagaman, marketing director of the Tennessee Performing Arts Center, after performing there on the 13th of September. Calloway Mary Stagman with an iron, causing serious head and rib injuries. He then fled into the suburbs of Nashville, where he smashed a plate glass window and storm door at one house and did extensive damage to the interior of another, destroying a family's collection of fine crystal, smashing a television set, and breaking light bulbs with his bare hands. He also stole a backpack from a first grader, smashed a windshield with a rock, and stole a bag of herbicide from elderly resident Douglas White. Calloway started spilling it on his body and was rolling on the ground and running around, at which point the elderly resident, Douglas White, he attempted to hold Calloway at gunpoint, like, you're going insane, I've got a gun, I'm going to hold you here until the police come to get you. So Douglas Wright, the old guy, fired a warning shot at Calloway, causing Calloway to dive to the ground and scream that he was shot. He wasn't, but that's what he was screaming. He then jumped up and washed his hands and face in the Wright's bird bath before fleeing the scene, where witnesses reported him wearing only a Superman t-shirt.
Okay.
He was arrested after hiding out in a couple's garage screaming, "Help, I'm David from Sesame Street and they're trying to kill me." The actor was taken to a mental hospital for examination. The events were never publicized, and Calloway was allowed to continue appearing on Sesame Street as he sought help.
Okay.
So throughout the 80s on Sesame Street, they had an actor who got naked and stole the first grader's backpack,
Yes.
acting with first graders. That's crazy. Was Jared Fogle from Subway ever on Sesame Street? Dang, that is crazy. And not only is it crazy that that happened to an actor from Sesame Street, but it's also crazy that the rumor that the kids used to say on the playground was pretty fucking spot on, right?
Yeah.
I was surprised to look up David from Sesame Street and to find out that, like, oh, so for my entire life I was pretty on the nose. So in his authorized history, Street Gang: The Complete History of Sesame Street, author Michael Davis writes that Calloway's final years on the show were marked by periods of deteriorating health and ability, punctuated by episodes of erratic behavior. During these years, he cites that Calloway reportedly bit music coordinator Danny Epstein during an on-set fight. He also appeared unannounced at Allison Barnett's high school. She played Gina on Sesame Street. I had a crush on her growing up. And proposed to her, which is shocking. She was in high school and was 23 years younger than him. He just randomly appeared and just like in a high school cast member's house to try and marry her. Plus, Calloway's fellow cast members observed subtle clues to his sometimes erratic behavior and kept their distance. in addition to this, his criminal record caused him to be banned from Canada, where Follow That Bird was filmed, and that's why he's not in the movie.
Okay.
David's not in Sesame Street, Follow That Bird, because he couldn't get past the border because he got freaking arrested. That's fascinating to me. So yeah, the writers gradually ended his relationship with Maria, and he started being on the show less and less. Eventually, in the spring of 1989, Calloway was dismissed from Sesame Street. His final appearance was on the 20th season finale. Shortly after his termination from Sesame Street, he was permanently placed in a mental institution in Westchester, New York, where he received treatment for bipolar disorder. And then in January of 1990, there was an altercation between David from Sesame Street and a physician. They got into a fight. He was taken to a memorial hospital where he was found dead. The coroner's report listed his official cause of death as exhaustive psychosis, now more commonly called excited delirium syndrome, a controversial condition often retrospectively assigned to those who die under restraint in custody. Oh my God, if I ever die of excited delirium syndrome, I didn't do it. It was the fucking cops.
Yeah.
But yeah, David from Sesame Street did in fact go nuts, but they hushed it up and kept him on Sesame Street. Isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
That is it. He was on Sesame Street. Watched him when I was a kid, but apparently the guy just, yeah, he went nuts. That's so weird. He released an album called David Daydreaming on a Rainy Day. He released singles. He released songs.
Yeah.
He was in the 1973 movie Together for Days. He was in an episode of the soap opera The Secret Storm. I have some people on my Twitter account, apropos of nothing. I have people on my Twitter account. I am shocked that so many people out there still watch soap operas and get into them.
Really?
Yes, I am surprised by this. There are numerous people on my Twitter feed that just watch every freaking General Hospital. And it's like, hold on,
Still.
let me check. Yeah, it is 2022. This is fucking weird. It's not the 80s anymore. Luke and Laura aren't a thing. But apparently there's still people that just are really into that.
They'd be watching the reality shows on TV to get real life.
Yeah.
I am blown away by this. But yeah, David from Sesame Street, he went nuts. Also, you should see Margaret Hamilton as the Wicked Witch of the West on Sesame Street. It's pretty great. It's really great to see a character on Sesame Street threaten Big Bird.
Yes.
Pretty great. It's pretty great to finally see a character roll into Sesame Street and say, hey, I'm going to turn you into a fucking feather duster, you piece of shit. That is 100% what she says.
Yeah.
That's probably why they only aired it once. And listen, you fat fuck, she says that to Big Bird.
Yeah.
It was shocking. Very stunned. Very stunned. Shocking. And then Big Bird is like has a bat in one hand and a hockey stick in the other hand. And he's like, next time that bitch comes along, I'm going to fuck her up. And the weird thing is, I'm pretty much telling the truth. Where is that bitch?
Walking along, pacing back and forth in front of the store, and then
Like
this little
guarding
lady
Mr.
comes
Hooper's
by.
store.
She's like, oh, hello, ma'am. And then steps aside for her. And like, oh, I'm going to be ready next time.
Oh, hey, old lady. Hey, why don't you just come into Hooper's store? door. You better go in quick because this old bitch is here somewhere. And I've got 2 weapons. I'm going to fuck her up. That's why they didn't air the episode. A lot of cussing. Surprising. Surprising amount of cussing in the whole episode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was the Pointer Sisters, if I'm not mistaken. Who sang that song with the pinball? Yeah. Oh. Doing the Pointer Brothers. They point at everybody. That's such a deep cut. Before I Think You Should Leave came along, there was a show that I think it only lasted. Hello. I think it only lasted for 1 season on Netflix, like so many shows. But it was called The Comedians, and basically they got a bunch of random comedians and said, "Okay, you have 1 half hour on Netflix. Do whatever you want." And it was a bunch of comedians that I've never heard of, but I think Nicole Byers had a half hour on it. She's that one black woman who hosts that like cake show. Nailed it, yeah. And then Tim Robinson was given a half hour, and so it feels like a pilot for I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
Which it probably was. But it's a really great episode, and like there's a lot of people out there that quote I Think You Should Leave, but you can tell the real fans when they're quoting something from one episode of The Comedian, because then you know your stuff. You're even more of a fan if you're quoting one of the skits that he actually got on TV when he was on SNL for 1 season. Because his stuff was insane. That's why they... Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very exclusionist. You are my niche. You are my niche. It does. It does. It sounds weird. Sounds weird. Sounds weird. Yeah. So David from Sesame Street, he went insane. That is, that's it for Shap this week. I'm working on a couple of other ones. I learned a great hidden side of the Stonewall riots recently. I should have done that during Pride, but oh, and I've got 2 great reviews for this week's movie, Corona, also known as Fear is a Virus, also known as Yelling Canadians, the movie.
Yes.
I got 2 reviews, and they're really great, and I can't wait to talk about this week's movie. Our next episode, just to let you know, buddy, here's a little bit of a preview. Kevin Nash. I said that last episode. We're finally watching Kevin Nash's coronavirus action film. So
10-minute warning.
okay, good. We can run out the clock. So that is it for Steve's Historic Approximations. Be sure to join us next time for more educationally uneducational fun with Steve's Historic Approximations. And cut on that. Well, it's time now for one of our exciting news segments, Running the Clock. We've got
Running the clock.
and a half. Running the clock. Ruining the clock? Smashing the... Yeah, okay. So we are running the clock.
We are running the clock. So
We are running.
So what has happened this week? Preferably not dark and horrible. Have you been watching Miss Marvel?
I have not. I never watched, for various reasons, I never even got around to watching frickin'
Moon Knight.
Still haven't watched Moon Knight, but I just got all of Moon Knight and I put it on the TV, and I will be watching it soon. Like, I really want to watch Miss Marvel, but I can't watch that until I finish Moon Knight.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't. I can't.
They're not related.
Yeah, they're not related.
All the DC ones? No. Marvel ones,
Yeah, like I still haven't gotten to the Defenders because I never finished season 2 of Dare. I never watched Iron Fist, so I haven't watched the Defenders yet because I gotta watch all of them before I get to the Defenders.
Okay, no particular loss there.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Yeah, no big loss. He was from Los Angeles. So, what were we talking about?
See, that's what has me scared is that they're going to bring back that same guy. Since they brought back the same guy as Black Bolt, I'm afraid they're going to bring back the same guy for Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was expecting by now to have seen more of Simu Liu.
Yeah?
It's kind of suspicious that, like, you do a Marvel film and then that Marvel character appears in, like, everything else, but we saw Shang-Chi once, and then I guess he just disappeared.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Wong is popping up and everything, but oh no, he just disappeared. Who knows what happened to fucking Shang-Chi?
Yeah, he should have at least have popped up in Doctor Strange, especially with the Wong connection.
Yeah, freaking ridiculous. That upsets me. That seriously upsets me. I love Shang-Chi.
And like, what do you got to do? Like, so you both walk out the portal in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, and go off and do whatever Wong thing you did. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I actually do find Spider-Man and Multiverse of Madness kind of interchangeable as movies.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice to see bad guy Scarlet Witch. A lot of people online were like, "Oh, I don't like the Scarlet Witch as a bad guy. I don't like the Scarlet Witch as evil." And it's like, dude, that's like 60% of her comic book life.
Yeah.
That's a villain.
Yeah. I am very much looking forward to Thor.
Yep. That's next week. I'm excited about that.
Genie
I'm excited because Sean Gunn is in it.
Genie is also looking very much forward to Thor.
What? I am psyched about that.
And I too want to see his butt.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
And I look at it like this.
He shows naked cheek.
I look at it like this, okay? Fuzzy ballerinas may not be my particular taste, but I appreciate them as art. I am more of a sad clown kind of person.
Puddles.
But Chris Hemsworth has put in a lot of work on this ass. This is not a natural ass. This is a created, sculpted ass. This ass is his artistic expression. And I feel I need to pay it respect.
Captain America, he's got America's ass. Hemsworth, he's got the planet's ass.
This is Asgard's ass.
Galaxy's ass. Yeah, Asgard's ass. He's the ass of Asgard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excited about that. I'm excited that Sean Gunn is back as whatever his character's name is. I think Kraglin. He was the second in command next to Yondu. What was his name from Gilmore Girls? He had Kirk. He had all the jobs. There you go.
Yes.
What can I say? I like jabs. I'm excited for Thor.
Yeah.
And also just good for you getting a fourth movie.
Yeah.
I mean, this is your fourth standalone Thor. When I think back of all the superheroes that got standalone films, never would have guessed it'd be Thor who got the fourth one.
Especially after the first two, not
Especially
really
after the
good
first
at
two.
all.
Yeah. I liked the first one. The second one was just ugh. But like, here you are at your fourth film, and it's going to be a big, massive hit. Like, dang, dude, good for you. And like you said, you want to know how famous Taika Waititi has gotten? We can all pronounce it.
Yes.
That's how
Yes.
famous you are. That no one has a problem pronouncing your name anymore. Damn. Damn.
Yes, I am also a big fan of the actor who plays Mordor, Baron Mordor.
Oh yes.
Okay, and I
Do
loved
not.
him. I loved him since he was in Serenity,
Serenity.
and I am really trying. I am really trying because I like this guy. He's currently in The Man Who Fell to Earth on Showtime, and I'm thinking of checking that out. It's on Pluto?
Hmm?
The Man Who Fell to Earth? Really? Wow.
I'm personally excited.
But anyway, let me give this a try. Chitweedle Anjafor.
Good job.
Is
Good
it?
job. I wasn't saying his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to say it without having to scrunch up my face first.
Yeah.
And like really prepare. It does not roll off the tongue the way Taika Waititi does.
Taika Waititi. Love that name. Unfortunately, we'll have to talk about this week's movie soon. Yay!
Okay, but see, the thing is here, like, I understand that comic books have always been political. I understand that Star Wars has always been political. I understand that Star Trek has always been political. And not only that, these are the things that I have enjoyed, or some of the things that I've enjoyed about these things.
Yeah.
That it's deeper than just whatever. Okay? But, you know, we are living in a fascist state. Can we fucking ease up a bit?
Yeah.
Can we ease up a bit? Does everything have to be so fucking heavy?
Yeah.
And not just necessarily political, but like, couldn't Doctor Strange have been fun? And we're out. And it's break time. Let me just get this switched over to break. And break.
Before the throne of the Almighty, Bob will not be judged by his acts, but by his intent.
Are you a woman in the Utah area looking for ugly clothing? Then stop on down to the Black Dress Warehouse. We are Utah's leading supplier of black or dark gray dresses. Do you want to look like a housewife? Do you want to look like a woman who is suffering depression or is possibly mourning the loss of a loved one? Or perhaps you're a woman being haunted by the grim specter of death. If you are, then come on down to Black Dress Warehouse. We sell black dresses, and that's it. Off of Route 9 and Main Street, Black Dress Warehouse.
And now, baby infestation.
Montage, montage, disco montage. It's a montage. We're cleaning up the streets. We're getting people with wife beaters, asking them questions in an alleyway. I'm wearing a peach-colored suit, and everything's cool. It's a montage, a disco montage. Is that a jeepney? That's weird. It's a montage. Here's my business card. It's a montage. A disco montage. We are cleaning up the streets. We're whacking the attack. And sometimes we're attacking the whack. And sometimes it's a whack attack. Because we don't have a coherent catchphrase yet for what we are doing. Maybe we should get some better publicity. Maybe hire somebody to do this stuff, to figure out what we should call this. Maybe we can do that in our montage. Kung Fu montage. We're talking to drunk people. I think that's MC Hammer now. MC Hammer's drunk. He is drunk in a hallway. We're walking past pawn shops in our montage. A Kung Fu montage. Disco Godfather and a guy with an afro. A really impressive afro in a montage. Walking down to something. Not really steps, but maybe that is a thing. And this guy's got a briefcase. And he's got his ad a pipe. I don't know what he's doing. He's signing a piece of paper in a montage. Smokey the Bear montage. They are walking down the streets with some fine ladies in a montage, beating up random people that they see on the street. Got real big glasses. See somebody beating up people, doing real bad kung fu. Getting some guy, grabbing him by the sweater, slapping him across the face, his sweaty face, in a montage. I've got a dog montage.
A 1, 2, 3, 4. You look so pretty next to somebody else. I'll tell you, I'll just tell you. You look so pretty when you walk away. I'll tell you, I'll just tell you that when I see you next to me, sitting 2 seats away, with space in between, 'cause you're nervous around me. I think you're pretty, I think you're pretty. you, I'll just tell you. You look so pretty when the lights turn down. I'll tell you, I'll just tell you. There's no place I'd rather be than where you would love to be away from me. 'Cause I'm laughing casually. I think you're pretty. I think you're pretty. I think you're pretty. You look so pretty next to someone else. You look so happy not by yourself. You look so happy next to someone else. So much pretty without a gun in your mouth. Get it? Because I was touring with DJ. Thank you.
Look at this. Certified frustration-free packaging. Not frustrating. That's good. Guess I just pull here and damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. These are some of my favorite worst posts from the last few weeks on the Oklahoma City Craigslist page. This one is called Prince Media Pandering. And it says, Prince, you would have thought he was the president the way the media carries on about this non-talented transvestite! Exclamation point. So, transvestite! Every channel went on and still are, I say, good riddance. Typical left-wing pandering media, always pushing their cause. Hell, when Elton John dies, they will probably declare a national holiday for him. They should, because Elton John is a treasure, number one. Number two, you need to check yourself. And third, it's not media pandering. Apparently, it's a pandering media. It's a media that's run by pandas. It's a pandering media. I like that.
You don't have to imagine that we're back, because we are.
We need to get down right now. My wife's about to give birth.
This elevator is not ready to go.
Move.
It's gonna be slow.
Yes,
Deal with
I
it.
can
We're
tell.
moving.
We can stop on every floor? Oh my God, there's no room. There's no room.
Yes, no room. No room. Sick. You guys are acting like you're seeing an alien or something.
Do you understand that there's a virus going around in this building?
I didn't know there's a coronavirus in the building.
Just open the borders up and they bring their diseases in.
This is how you all treat people, huh?
We're gonna die in here.
I feel like killing somebody. It's been a long day.
You've seen life. You've seen death. I think we're all being tested.
And we're back with more of the Pope on film.
It's time, Bunny.
It is time.
Yes, Bunny, my friend, my brother, and legally my accomplice. It is time once again for all of us here at the Pope on Film podcast to Madison and Watusi our way into the second half of the show. And it is said second half wherein we finally and eventually get around to discussing our hand-picked, handcrafted, and hand-jobbed movie of the week. And this week we continue our summer-long look at the new film genre that I have dubbed COVID exploitation, with a look at the 2020 ad-lib Canadian elevator film. I just want to say that again for history's sake, because that's an important phrase. I may be the first person in the world to ever truly say this sentence. We continue our summer-long look at the new film genre that I've dubbed COVID exploitation, with a look at the 2020 ad-lib Canadian elevator film called simply Corona.
Corona.
Also known as Fear is a Virus.
Yes.
Also known as, wait, this is all in an elevator? And it's also known as Canadians Yelling, the movie! Hooray!
Yes.
Buddy, on a scale from 9.5 to 10, how much did you love this incredibly moving drama?
On a scale of what to what?
On a scale of 9.5 to 10, how much did you love this incredible drama?
Well, on that, I'm going to go 9 3/4.
I love what you did with my guy over here.
That's what you do when you're not doing the right thing.
I freaking love it. I freaking love it.
It's a patch.
I think it's so great. It took me a while to realize what you had done. Let me come here. Look at what he did to the me on the screen there. Under construction. Isn't that great? Freaking love that so much. It's like Mal.
Oh my god.
Mal has gone around the house covering up all pictures of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like I fully understand, because it's like a body dysmorphia sort of thing, that like it must be difficult. It's not difficult for me to see pictures of myself as a guy all over the place, but I imagine that for some trans people, it would be very difficult to see that.
Yeah.
You know, I totally understand where they're coming from, but they went through the entire house, like even so much as on the table here, I had a photograph that featured them. The next morning, they put like a box of tea over them on the picture. That's how serious Mal is taking it right now.
I mean, I would just want to say, hopefully, it's like just kind of a phase, you know,
Yeah.
because at some point, you would need to embrace your whole journey as a person. So, if you need to block shit out for now, cool. But at some point you have to come back around, and that's who you were. That's all a part of your story.
Yeah. Like there's a part of me that still feels like I'm Steve, and if someone calls me Steve, as long as they're not like dead naming me, like my father-in-law. I mean, if someone comes up to me that I know, like I don't know, Day or Christian or some person we know, hey Steve, oh wait, Maylin, like okay, that's fine. I'm not going to get upset about that because I'm still me. Like Eleanor came to me like a couple of weeks ago and said, I miss Dad, and it's like I'm still Dad, except also I'm Mom, but I'm not. But I am. I mean, I'm still the person who I was before. It's just I have evolved.
Yeah.
If Pikachu evolves to Pichu, it's still Pikachu. It's just Pikachu has evolved into something else. I've evolved now, and I love it, and it's great.
Yes.
I freaking love it. Okay, so this week's movie is Corona, Fear is a Virus. It is part of our summer-long look at COVID-exploitation films. We do themed summers every year, and this year we're doing cheaply made Corona exploitation films because I don't want to watch all the Fast and the Furious. Fuck those movies. I'm not doing it. I mean, we could do Rocky, but there's just not enough. I don't think there's enough Rocky. If we're doing twice a week, we could probably do all the Rockies.
Yeah.
But the two Creeds are great.
Are they? I haven't seen either one of them.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to at least Creed 2 because that one is a follow-up to the best Rocky film, Rocky 4.
Okay.
And Ivan Drago has a son, and the son wants to be a boxer, and Ivan Drago sets up a match between, like, Drago Jr. and Creed. And it is Dolph Lundgren, and what's her name? That chick who used to be everywhere for a few years in the 80s is in it?
Yeah.
Brigitte Nielsen.
Yes.
She's in it. It's a really good film. I think it's because it's a follow-up to my favorite horrible Rocky. Like, that entire movie, Rocky 4, that's just a big shark jump.
Yes, it is.
That's just a big jumping shark. So we've done the summer of Saw, the summer of Star Wars. The summer of Fred Willard was freaking great. I expected Fred Willard to show up in this film.
Yes.
This seemed like one of those, not because it's an entirely ad-libbed film, because this film is ad-libbed, and that's in Fred Willard's wheelhouse, but this seemed like we are listening, I am listening, you are there, I am here, whatever. The alien radio movie. This seems...
I believe you.
I believe you. This seems like one of those low-budget films that has nobody. Fred Willard! And nobody.
Yes.
You know? I expected him to just pop up and start saying, like, Wahapa. So, and then last year we did a bunch of movies from IMDb Bottom 100, and that's when we learned if we really want clicks, we need to talk about Recep Ivadik.
Yeah.
There's a big Recep Ivadik fandom out there. So, Recep Ivadik, you're welcome, Turkey. Corona the movie. It's a 2020 Canadian film, so we can make South Park and blame Canada for this.
Yes.
Hooray! It was written and directed by Mostafa Keshvari, which I think is great because Lord knows that there are a lot of Vulcan movie directors out there, you don't see a lot of Klingon movie directors.
No.
I think that it's a shame, and I think that more Klingons should be in Hollywood making movies. It's nice to finally see a Klingon voice. In
Yes,
Hollywood.
it is.
Well, in Canada would.
And I totally believe that it was written and directed by a Klingon because nobody in this movie are real humans. They're all caricatures of a human as if they are humans seen through the eyes of a Klingon.
I swear to God, the guy in the wheelchair, the angry Nazi guy. I swear to God, the angry Nazi guy was Santa Claus from season 2 of I Think You Should Leave. He was also in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was really excited to see someone from I Think You Should Leave appear in Everything Everywhere All at Once. The guy who plays Santa Claus in 2 skits in season 2 of I Think You Should Leave. The actual actor's name is Biff Whiff. And he plays Santa in that, and he also appears in the laundromat, the old white guy who looks like Santa Claus in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Who dances with Short Round, and then he appears at the end. Oh, love that guy. Love that guy. I marked out when I saw someone from I Think You Should Leave in a big Hollywood movie. In the same, when I was watching I Think You Should Leave, I went, oh my God, that's the little girl from Tanner? No? Is that what it's called? Lancer. The little girl from Lancer from Once Upon a Time, ... in Hollywood. She's in a great skit. She's in a great skit from I Think You Should Leave. I got really excited. Here's the weird thing about so in Hollywood there's a lot of Vulcans and they get the opportunity to make all these movies.
Yeah.
There are a few Klingons that make movies, but I'll tell you one thing. The producers, they're all Ferengi.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh, God. Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, they're all Ferengis. That is some special Star Trek content for all of you Trekends out there. Man,
Yeah.
I need to find Trekkies. I need to get Trekkies. That is such a great movie. I haven't seen that for so long. That used to be my go-to documentary is Trekkies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I had an opportunity to be in Trekkies too, but I didn't take it.
Oh.
I just got like a message from someone. It's like, hey, they're filming Trekkies 2 in downtown Sacramento at this comedy club. You should come down. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to. But I should have. I could have been like in the audience in the movie. So this is widely considered, Corona, Fear is a Virus. It's widely considered to be the first full-length feature film made about the coronavirus pandemic.
All right. It's an hour and 10 minutes. So,
It's
full length?
It's longer than Dumbo.
Yeah.
That is my tent pole for is this a movie? Dumbo is 62 minutes long. If it's longer than Dumbo, it's a movie. The fact that we call Dumbo a movie is kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
When they showed Dumbo on TV when I was a kid, like, oh, they're going to show Dumbo on TV when I was. This is so awesome. And then I go and watch it on TV and they show a cartoon. And then they show a cartoon. And then they take a commercial break. And then they come back and they show a cartoon. And then there's a commercial break. And then they show the entirety of Mickey and the Beanstalk. Which is like super fucking long. And then a commercial break. And then they start Dumbo. I remember that to this day. That it's like, how, even when I'm like 11, 10 years old, I'm like, wait, how long is Dumbo? Because this is ridiculous. So, Corona Fear is a Virus is longer than Dumbo, so it's a movie. And what I was saying, I said this earlier in the podcast. This movie is shit, but it is historic shit
Yes.
because the director, writer, producer, director Mostafa Keshvari, he actually got this directing job by participating in the actual Klingon rite of Krepla.
Yes.
So he was reading about the coronavirus in December 2019 in Canada. And by January 2020, apparently there was a lot of racism in Canada towards Asian people because of the coronavirus. And back then, they were focusing really hard on, the Wu-Tang virus.
Yeah.
The Wu-Tang virus? Yeah. It started with, yeah, it's weird. The Wu-Tang virus started with Old Dirty Bastard. He was so old and dirty. That's how he started giving it to people. It's fucked up, the Wu-Tang virus. Wuhan. Thank you. Thank you. So he started working on the movie in January of 2022. And he started filming it in February of 2020. And then he finished the movie like right before the lockdown started happening. So this film was literally ahead of its time. So this film basically came out when we were still dealing with lockdowns and stuff like that. Because this film was made before the lockdown.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and the plot is basically before the lockdown or at the point of the lockdown.
Yeah. I swear to God, the entire plot of this movie was an episode of Night Court.
Of what?
Night Court.
Night Court.
I swear to God, this entire film is an episode of Night Court. I don't know, Dan Fielding is late to court, and he goes on the elevator. Oh, it rocks. What? It's stuck? Who's in the elevator with him? I don't know, an angry veteran. A rich a-hole. An angry black person. And a woman. What? She's pregnant? I swear to God, this is a sitcom.
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
I don't know. I don't remember that much of Night Court, but I swear to God, this was an episode of Night Court.
Well, again, this is why I say it was an episode of Insight. God, dude, you gotta Google it. You gotta go YouTube it and watch a couple of episodes of Insight. I mean, Insight practically invented the cool youth pastor. Okay? So every episode of Insight, and it was about 60 minutes with commercials and shit, a heavy, dramatic story of some sort, like a teen pregnancy or, anything like this, and then Jesus and It's Solved. And that was a lot of this movie.
For those of you who are listening to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, whatever, however you listen to this is more of a visual thing, but because Bunny was talking about cool youth pastors, I'm sitting on my gaming chair backwards now.
Yes.
Like all the cool... Hold on. Let me get a hat. Well, hey there, champ.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come and rap to you a little bit. Bunny, you know you're getting older, and your body's going through some changes there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to find some hair places where it hasn't been before.
There's a lot more blood in my pee.
A lot more, it's going to be a lot more pennies in your stool. Just something that happens. Growing up. Be a young man. Let me tell you. out of this. I'm not sure. Let me
And this movie also reminded me a bit of that one meme that in the first picture it's Peter Parker and Doctor Strange talking, and Peter Parker says, "Hey, Doctor Strange, can you make everybody forget about Mephisto?" And then the second panel is just credits. That's this movie, because if we dealt with actual coronavirus fact, then we would have to just jump straight to the credits. So we have to deal with a good chunk of coronavirus bullshit for there to be a movie at all.
Yeah. That reminds me. I want to... Daddy, they took my boot. I've got 2 reviews here. This movie currently has a 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Corona. There are exactly 2 user reviews for
Okay.
this film. So not the most popular. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. So I've got 2 reviews. I'm going to read them both to you, and you tell me which one you agree with, okay?
Okay.
Okay. The first one here is a 9 out of 10 stars, and the headline says, "What a microcosm of a situation of humanity."
Oh my God, that's your view of humanity?
Let me read this to you. What a great way to start a review, okay? I'm writing this as I watch it. I haven't rated it yet. The plot is a diverse cast of people are stuck in an elevator during the beginning of the coronavirus. The elevator moves slowly down due to being in need of repair as the cast loads in. The building owner and his pregnant wife with the repairman in the elevator, then a YouTube influencer, 16 years of age, ex-vet in a wheelchair with a swastika on his forehead, and a guy that came from the gym, and at last a Chinese woman named Han Wit. I think that was a typo.
Yeah.
After a time, we find she's in. But before this, one can only imagine the race, nationality, moral unbindings, etc. Plus, something extra happens, and that's not all. All I can say is read the IMDb info on this almost play, being that it takes place in one place the whole time. I feel like you just said place like 8 times, but that's fine. The acting is good. The twists and turns of being human and the coronavirus is excellent. In some ways, this movie reminds of the movie where different are people abducted standing in circles, and through a sort of selection, the people are eliminated, causing the same sort of justifications, etc. Which is what I've been saying this whole time. This will play very interesting in the futures, as the pandemic is just a memory. As for the film, it's now over, and it was an excellent piece on humanity and the mindset created by the virus. So that's our first review. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, now let me read the second one. 1 out of 10, I want my 72 minutes back. I don't normally write movie reviews, but then I wouldn't really call this a movie. It's more like a bunch of bad actors crammed into an elevator, given a one-sentence description of who they are portraying, then turned loose with no direction to guide or shape the drama. All improvised badly. I couldn't find a single redeeming thing about this. It seems like the creator of this just wanted to put what seemed like ordinary people together and let them denigrate into some of the worst parts of humanity. Save your time and spend it elsewhere. This is not worth investing a minute of it. But we're investing at least 45.
Yes.
So
well,
funny.
If this is a gun to the head situation where I must pick one review or the other, I got to go with the first one. It's not nearly as
because
bad
when
as the second guy is making it out. It's horrible. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but you also said that you were high while watching the movie.
But it was, but money was spent on these actors, and they were pretty good.
Okay, I'm not sure if we saw the same movie because this almost broke me.
The characters that they were playing were horrible.
Yes.
But did you doubt that guy was an asshole?
No, I did not doubt that guy was an asshole. You do have a point there.
That's good acting because probably he's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
That's good acting. A lot of this acting was pretty competent. Certainly much more than other shit we've seen, even in the coronavirus category.
If I had to sit down with Natasha and watch a bad movie with her,
Yeah.
I would either put on Battlefield Earth or this. Like,
And-
I've watched worse before. I'm not going to watch what Swept Away. I'm not going to watch the Chun-Li movie.
And this was great because each character was so far over the top and so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And everything they were doing was ridiculous.
I do like the first movie review. So kudos to the author, Schlagzug player, for his review. Because I do agree that in some ways the movie reminds of the movie where different are the people abducted standing in circles, and through a sort of selection the people are eliminated, causing the same sort of justifications, etc. That was the first thing on my mind.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken and missed a little something. But as far as I understand, we established that the elevator alarm rings to the firehouse and they press the elevator alarm. So that all of this over dramatization, it's like a bunch of people having a breakdown at the line at the DMV.
Yeah. The part
Like,
that I
you're
liked
gonna be
is that-
saved, you're gonna be okay,
The part that I liked is when
and you're ready to resort to fucking cannibalism.
Exactly. Vietnam veteran Santa Claus dies, and then the asshole businessman is like, well, who's hungry? And I'm like, dude, you've been stuck in the elevator 20 minutes. Don't resort to Timothy yet.
So this is why I loved it, because it was so fucking ridiculous and trying to be serious.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
but
personally,
you're a victim of a delay.
Yeah.
A delay. And what the fuck is this? The coronavirus hits? Elevators are going to stop working? This is the last elevator out of the building? And the elevator just won't, well, it has mechanical trouble, sure, but like, the guy who was working on it, you made him stop.
in my mind, all of these movies we're watching takes place in the same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, these people get coronavirus. The reason why they get the coronavirus is they went to Tucson, Arizona, where they met the old man who just came home from a cruise with his wife.
Yes.
He was patient zero. And all of these films are just in a massive corona shared universe.
Yes. Still though, the first one is my favorite. 2025 is still my favorite out of all this run. But this one is a great runner up.
In my mind, this one just seems to me to be just bad community theater. Like, this looks like the play that I would go see because my friend's friend's friend wrote it. Hey, Mal, do you want to come over here and give a movie review for the podcast?
How I'm lost at how you cannot appreciate the ridiculousness of this.
Okay, hold on, Bunny. Mal, you just came back from seeing the Minions Rise of Gru. What are your thoughts about that?
Pretty good movie. The soundtrack could have been way fucking better.
Oh,
It's a
the
Minions
soundtrack.
movie.
The soundtrack of the first one was great because it had like the Doors and the Beatles and stuff. It doesn't have that good of a soundtrack.
10-minute warning.
70s?
I think so, yeah. Or
Yeah.
80s maybe.
Okay.
I mean, the music was good, but they didn't play it long enough, you know? Like, all
Yeah.
the songs were, like, super fucking short. They were good ones, but
Yeah.
I wish they had a musical, you know?
Yeah.
It could
Did you
have been pretty
stay
better.
for the whole credits?
Not for all of them.
What?
But
What? Because in the first Minions movie, there was a whole musical number after the end credits. For all you know, you missed another musical number. They sang the Beatles Revolution after the credits in the Minions movie. You didn't stay for the whole credits?
I was gonna be peer pressured out of it anyway.
Oh,
It was with
you
a bunch of
really
friends,
should have.
man.
You gotta stay for the whole credits.
No.
Oh, I am so hurt by this. So hurt by this. I am so hurt. I am shocked and chagrined. Mortified and stupefied. Personally, I like this movie, Corona Fears a Virus, because you see this movie filmed in one take with an improvised cast and a non-existent budget except for one elevator. And you look at this film and you go, how hard can it be to make a movie? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I see this movie and it's very empowering because I see this movie and go, shit, Bunny, you can do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could do this. We could all do this. It's an empowering film in that regard.
Well, yes, and I did appreciate it on that level that you are making efficient use out of the little money that you have.
Yeah.
And I have it pegged at about 150, maybe 200 grand tops.
Yeah.
If we really paid the actors.
Yeah.
I'm considering like 10 grand for each actor.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this entire movie was a commercial because, like, iMovie is such a simple movie-making software that any dumbass can make a film. Here, look at this, and then you see the film with like 5-6 minutes of opening credits. That begs the question: did he pay for this stock footage, or did he just down it somewhere?
Yeah, well, I do have the stock footage opening and closing figured in, and if it's straight stock footage, then like that's another 10,000 for the beginning and the end. Stock footage runs up pretty quick.
Yeah. So
it's like 400 a clip.
Yeah. But you know, the good thing about this nearly 5-minute opening title sequence is by the time it's done, there's only an hour and 7 minutes that you've got to suffer through. There are now episodes of Stranger Things longer than this movie.
Yes. Yes.
So that's something. The entire movie is ad-libbed, and Christopher Guest, this director, is not.
No.
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 Like, just because Best in Show and Reno 911 look easy to make doesn't mean it's easy to make. You still need professionals to know how to ad-lib, and I just felt like this entire movie is just like, oh, this is ad-libbed? I couldn't tell what with 3 people yelling at each other at the same time.
Okay,
so
but still.
what any of them are saying.
I think you're missing the beauty. I think you're still not seeing the beauty here. So an Asian woman gets on the elevator, and apparently she has some medical training, sees the pregnant woman and tries to help, to which the asshole husband shoves her back. She hits the side wall of the elevator, hits her head, and dies.
Oh, this fucking movie.
Or maybe she's not quite dead yet. They're not sure. Nobody wants to check, but she is bleeding out from her fucking head.
I was shocked that in the year of our Lord 2020 that you can still make a movie with GOOKS in it.
Yeah.
You can't say that. Like, I know this movie is trying to like combat racism, but by doing so, this felt really fucking racist.
Yes.
Like the Chinese woman is saying something that sounds vaguely like the N-word, and the black guy is like, "What? What?" And then the Vietnam veteran said the G word.
Yeah, but that was consistent because everything was over the fucking top. Everything was overly dramatic when it boils down to a delay. You got stuck in the elevator and you're going to be delayed a little bit.
Yeah, this felt very much like a community theater one-act play.
Then the wife wants them to check the girl's lifeline.
Yeah.
Because in her palm, because if she's dead, she won't have a lifeline.
Yeah.
And her fortune teller told her that cell phones will hurt her baby.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. This movie, come on. You're not giving this movie enough credit.
You're saying that I missed the beauty. I think you missed the ugly.
Then the woman laying on the floor in a puddle of her own blood is okay again.
There were no lights for a third of this fucking movie.
She's okay again, and then her hair completely clean, no blood clumps or anything like that, and she's strong enough to deliver a baby.
The lights were off.
Yes. Yes.
A third of the film.
But apparently there are lights in the elevator shaft for you to get that nice fan look coming through the ceiling.
You know, they say that cat elevator shaft is a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
But I was talking about the elevator shaft. I legitimately hated this movie because it's just bad ad-libbing by bad actors. And
I legitimately had fun with this movie. What?
It's so fucking bad. They're horrible ad-libbers.
They're horrible people.
Okay, there are two things I liked about this movie. Number one, everyone's blame. First off, it's so ridiculous that she keeps saying Wuhan throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, she's from Wuhan. She has the virus. Oh my God, we're all gonna die." And then near the end, you realize that her name is Han Wu, but in China, the last name comes first. So she's saying Wuhan, and everyone thinks like, "What the fuck is this? A Three's Company episode?"
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is some weird ass Abbott and Costello vaudevillian routine. What is it? Corona's on first. Coke's on second.
I particularly liked how when we got into the almost famous-ish bearing of the souls.
Less than 1 minute. When the fuck did this happen?
That
we still got so much to say. Holy shit! No.
We're coming back. Is it just a minute?
Less than a minute.
Less.
So into talking about this damn movie that we completely lost track of time. I need more time to discuss the intricate plot of some rando stuck in a friggin' elevator.
We are getting that time. Oh, and it cut right there. Again, that was some good fucking timing. We are getting that time and cut. Invite sent. And I will type it over here. Invite sent. And send it over to Facebook as well. And she has entered the room.
Hi.
There you are.
This is the first time that I have not realized the time limit until it was too late.
Well, because it came up and I said it, but you didn't hear it because that's when Mal came in.
I didn't hear it at all. No,
Yeah.
I didn't hear it at all. Yeah. Shit.
All right. So anyway, they're having their famous, almost famous-esque opening heart moment as each character is telling their story.
Oh, at the end?
And somehow this Asian woman who was dead and then not dead, and they stamped her rat to death and does not understand a word of English, somehow realized what was going on in the room and realized it was her time to tell her story.
Yeah. The thing that gets me
The
is
story that nobody else in the elevator would understand.
Yeah. The thing that gets me is that some of the things that I like about this movie. Number one, everyone assumes that the woman from China has the coronavirus, but as it turns out, it's probably, spoiler alert, probably the dumb white guy. But he does say when you first see him that he's a parking attendant. Because he was talking about the black guy who was fixing the elevator.
Yeah.
That he ticketed the car, and that they towed the car. Okay. But then he says at the end, in the big reveal, that he's the one who probably has corona. He said, I was just in China on business. So I've got a question. Why is a fucking parking attendant going to Wuhan, China on a business trip?
Yes.
Oh, what? Was there urgent parking matters in China that they could only get you for? Oh my God! There's a asteroid that is coming to Earth. We need the best drillers in the world.
Now you're getting into the spirit of the movie. Now you're getting into the spirit.
There's just too much illegal parking in China. We need the best parking attendant in the world. It's February 2020. Get me America's greatest parking attendant. He needs to work on the illegal parking in front of this lab. Like, that I don't get that. But I do like the scene that you're talking about where everybody's sitting there. By the end of the movie, everybody is confessing to their own stupid shit. Like, oh, I've got a twist. Oh, I've got a twist. Oh, hold my beer. Here's my twist. And everybody has like a twist. And like, oh, you're not the father of the child. Oh, I have cancer. I have 6 months to live. Oh, I'm an alcoholic. Oh, I sabotaged the elevator. And then after that, it started getting weird. One character said, oh, I actually came up with Jar Jar Binks.
Yes.
And it's like, whoa, what? And then one person's big reveal was, I also have a twist for the last 10 minutes of this film. I'm colorblind. That one
Yes.
didn't seem like a big deal. And then, oh, the big one was the one character who said, okay, it's time for me to tell the truth. I started Billy Joel's fire.
Yes.
Big reveal there. Huge. Another thing that I liked is the fact that like the guy
And the whole time, the fire departments are on the way. They're getting out of this.
Yeah.
They just need to be a little patient. Go ahead.
You've been locked in there for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Already somebody is dead. What the fuck?
Somebody was dead and somebody was dead-ish.
I have been trapped inside of a target for longer than they were stuck in that elevator. I was like, literally, I was in 6th grade, and my mom went to Target. Oh, should we go to Target? It's storming pretty bad. Oh, we can be there and back before the storm hits. And we're in Target for like 20 minutes, and then the power goes out, and we go outside, and it's a massive, like a typhoon, a massive storm. The entire parking lot was flooded, and the windows were just rattling, and just. I was in there longer than these people were in the world's biggest elevator.
Yeah.
I have been to massively expensive Las Vegas casinos that had smaller elevators than this elevator.
Yes.
The other thing that I like is that the veteran, the guy in the wheelchair with the swastika on his forehead, so he's a Nazi.
Yes.
But he's also Canadian because this is a Canadian movie. So I started thinking about the idea of Canadian Nazis.
Yes.
Sometimes it becomes commonplace for we Americans who live in just this horrible nation to just look to our neighbors from the north and say, wow, they're so great. They're so amazing. They have universal health care and they treat each other nice. But then I'll see some documentary like that guy who died trying to make a grizzly proof suit.
Yeah.
And I'll see a movie like that and I'll go, oh yeah, there are dumbass Canadians.
Yes, there are.
And so I like the idea of Canadian Nazis. A lot of times, like in America, you think like, oh, the far right is a real big problem here. And it is kind of nice to know that, like, oh, they're also in Canada. Okay. But also, I'd like to think that the Canadian Nazis still have that Canadian sort of attitude of like, hey, how's it going, eh?
Yeah.
You know who's ruining nation? It's them Jews, eh? We should maybe get rid of them. I don't know. You want a beer? They're still nice. I like to think that a Canadian Nazi is much nicer than an American Nazi. An American Nazi is marching with tiki torches and getting, planning to like bomb places. But a Canadian Nazi is just like, hey, how you doing? So you're a Jew, huh? Oh, you want to go to the park? Maybe have a little picnic, and maybe afterwards, if you'd like, I can kill you.
Yeah.
Like Canadian Nazis, I imagine are pretty nice. So I dig that.
All in all.
All in all, yeah. all in all. Anyway, I hate this movie. Don't listen to Bunny. The movie sucks. The acting is bad. The ad libbing is bad. You can't see anything for the majority of the movie. The whole thing feels like bad community theater. This movie feels extremely
Malin is
racist.
so wrong. She is so wrong. You've got to experience this movie.
Sexist bastard. Oh,
What?
I get it. Now that I'm a woman. Oh, I love that so much. I love
this
that
movie
so
is something to. This movie is something to see. It is ridiculous. It is funny.
I will say this though. This movie is so bad. I would watch this again to show someone how bad it is. You know?
We might have to do a live commentary of this movie and show everybody how bad it is.
This movie is so bad that I do see myself like I'm telling Natasha about the movie, and Natasha's over there, and I'm telling Natasha about it while I'm watching it, and eventually it just gets so bad that you just see Natasha slowly move over next to me to see like, oh my god, this is as bad as you said. And next thing you know, we're both watching it, and that's how bad it is. That like, okay, the movie feels extremely racist. Like it's trying to make a statement about racism, but in doing so, I think it's being more racist than it should. Bernard, get down. Get down, dog.
Well, again, it's the Klingon view.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is
You know, so like
Klingon director.
They don't quite exactly understand the subject matter, but they're trying.
Like the movie is just like, hey, this film has an important message. You know, not all Chinese people have the coronavirus, and then we're all just sitting here going, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Did you not know that? It kind of seems like
Well, but again,
this movie is trying to.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying with the Peter Parker meme. If you dealt with any kind of coronavirus facts, it's the opening titles and it jumps straight to the credits because there's no movie there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to deal with all of the corona misinformation. And yes, they were all horrible people and they were all racist.
Hey.
While slipping into their little Jesus moments here and there.
What's your name? What's your name? It's funny.
Yeah.
Do you know Jesus? You know Jesus Christ? You know who he died for? You know who he died for? He died for us. He died for you. You know, we're all equal here. We're all equal here, Bunny. What do you think about that? So, I would watch this again. That's how bad it is. So I guess I'm willing to give it up in that regard. This is a horrible movie, but it is one of those horrible movies that, like, it is. If you know that this movie was filmed before the lockdown, like, you can tell that this movie was made before the coronavirus was a big deal.
Yes.
You know? So, and you can kind of tell, like, now where we are at here with dealing with, like, over 1 million deaths and long COVID and all of this stuff, watching this movie now, it's kind of quaint.
Yes. But still, 2025 is number one.
Yeah.
Because that's bad, very much in the tradition of the room.
Okay, I've gotta bring something up. There will be a programming change. So when we first started 2022, the summer of COVID exploitation, I said the whole concept of it was a bunch of directors have rushed out really cheap shit, exploitation films, to capitalize on the coronavirus.
Right.
Like this week's film, like the week before that, like our next film, COVID-19 Invasion, starring Kevin Nash, NWO for life. and, so, and I said a couple of times this year that you know that these COVID exploitation films are bad because the most famous actor in any of these films is Kevin Nash.
Yes.
I forgot about a movie. It came out at the end of December 2020. It was it was supposed to come out in theaters, but the pandemic, so it only came out as like a digital download. It was made with a budget of about $2 million, and it made $400,000. It's mainly known for being produced by Michael Bay.
Okay.
It's called Songbird. I just learned about it about a half hour before we started this podcast. So I need to track it down. Let me tell you the people who are in this movie. It stars Archie from Riverdale, first off.
Okay.
And
which we have not seen since that, what Christian movie was that? His wife was dying.
Yes, exactly. Yes. He was in that movie. I still believe.
No, I still believe it was the Fred Willard movie.
No, that's I'll Believe You.
Oh, I'll believe you.
Still
Okay.
Believe is the one where he's the singer. Whoa, Eleanor, dropping the podcast. You are dropping the podcast. Okay. This is not my computer. My computer is gone. Okay, there you go. So it stars Archie from Riverdale, and it also features Craig Robinson, Bradley Whitford, Peter Stormare, Paul Walter Hauser, who is the fat guy from I Tonya.
Peter Scolmari, is that the guy from, like, I don't know, the Newhart Show or Bosom Buddies or some shit like that?
Wait, which name?
Peter Scolari?
No, Stormare.
Stormare.
He was the guy in Fargo. There were the two criminals. It was Steve Buscemi and the other guy. He was the other guy.
Oh, he was the other guy. Okay, he's been in a lot of shit. I know who you're talking about.
He's the nihilist.
Yeah, he's the nihilist. He was the guy on the mirror in Armageddon.
Yeah. That guy. He's in it. And it's Demi Moore.
Really?
Yes. It's set in 2024, and COVID-19 has mutated into COVID-23, and it's like the fourth year of total lockdown.
Okay.
The lockdown started and it never stopped, and now it's like a post-apocalyptic future where no one is allowed outside. And, like, there are Q zones.
I've seen Outside. I don't recommend it.
Yeah. The whole thing just seems to be the absolute fucking worst, and so I'm going to have to track it down. We're not doing it next week. Next week we're doing Kevin Nash's ridiculous action film, COVID-19 Invasion. I looked up the plot for it, and what the fuck? Hold on, let me pull up the plot for.
Keeping track of these titles is a challenge, though.
I know, because they're all the same damn name. They're all the same damn. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the plot of next week's film. Rex and his men aim to kill the homeless people living in a local deserted school, hoping it'll slow a deadly strand of COVID. Now outnumbered 100 to 1, Hap must save his little sister. What the fuck does that mean?
So our heroes are going out to slaughter homeless people. Oh, this sounds tough.
I'm so confused. Are the good guys going to kill the homeless people? Or is our hero one of the homeless people? I'm so confused. And there's a review of
I am confused and I am deeply frightened.
There's a review. Okay, you're deeply frightened, so let me give you a review which might change your mind, okay? So here is a review from IMDb from February of 2022 by W.Y. Polma. Y. Polma. And this is, the rating on IMDb is 1 star out of 10. Let me correct the others who don't get it. Let me read this review to you, okay?
Okay.
I'm ready to hate next week's movie until I read this review, okay? This film is a leftist's attempt to smear conservatives.
Okay.
Not just anti-vaxxers, which, if you think about it, have a point. After all, if the left had just shut up and hadn't brought up mandates forcing people to put something into their own body and ignoring their constitutional right to decide which healthcare procedures they will or will not undergo, then all of this wouldn't have happened. I personally had vaccines. I'm just fine. But I will decide what goes into my body and will not answer to anyone else on that issue, period. They also clearly are trying to smear conservatives and anti-vaxxers as being somehow racist, though anyone with an IQ over 30 can clearly see that this isn't the case. Don't waste your time on this film. More importantly, do not give these people your money. Give them the attention they deserve. None. Oh, what a bird. Man,
Yeah.
we leftists sure have been put in our place, haven't we? And it's like, oh, I was ready to hate this movie until I read that review, and it's like, shit.
And that's for this movie? Yeah, yeah.
No, next
yeah.
week's movie. Next week's movie, COVID-19 Invasion. Starring
That
Kevin
does
Nash.
ease my mind a bit.
Yeah. NWO for life. Kevin Nash. I was Wolfpack Red.
Yeah.
I was the red Wolfpack. I wasn't the black and white.
Yeah.
I was the red. So that's all I've got for this week's movie. If you like bad movies, there's a certain type of person, and this is who we cater to. There's a certain type of person, a Pope on Film fan, a Poppy was the name that we came up with, is that you say to someone, hey, I found this movie. It's from 2020. The entire thing is ad-lib, and it's all set on an elevator. It's a Canadian film about the coronavirus that was made right before the coronavirus. It's entirely ad-lib, and the only setting is an elevator. Most people, most normal-thinking people will say, yeah, that sounds horrible, I'm not going to watch it. But if you hear that and go, that sounds horrible, when will we watch it? Okay, then yeah, this film is absolutely for you.
And that is why I'm giving it a recommend. They chased her little pet rat around an elevator and stomped it to death.
Yeah, somebody stomps a rat to death in this movie. Yeah. And then it turns out
This movie is worth your watch.
It's horrible. It's so bad. But it is kind of so bad that it's like, I did that face a lot, just a sort of like a mouth gape sort of. So yeah, it is pretty bad. But if you like bad movies, then this movie is for you.
Yes.
So next week we will be in our next episode 434. We will be covering the Kevin Nash film COVID-19 Invasion, which is apparently about homeless people. people, and I'm gonna work on getting Archie's fucking Corona film.
Yes.
Finally, the Archie, Craig Robinson, Peter Stormare, Demi Moore movie we always wanted.
COVID. Dun, 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 dun. All mucus, mucus. Dun, 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 dun. You are my snotty girl.
I love that. So that's next episode. COVID-19 Invasion, starring Kevin Nash and WO for life.
Yes.
Say that every time I say his name. From here on out. You can't just say his name. You gotta add the whole life. So I might end up talking about WCW a lot in our next episode, which is fine because I would rather talk about that than killing homeless people. I don't get that, but I guess we'll watch the movie and find out.
We'll find out. It could be a kind of a Running Man situation, or you know.
I hope they never redo Running Man, because the thing about the movie Running Man is you go to the film expecting an Arnold Schwarzenegger action film, but what do you get? You get Richard Dawson in his starring role.
Yes.
He is the rock of that film. He is
You
the
get
center, the cornerstone, the star. You cannot replace.
no.
him.
No.
He is
No.
perfect. Perfect.
And you get the extra bonus double whammy of Mick Fleetwood and Dweezil Zappa.
Dweezil Zappa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Yaphet Kotto.
Trying to look tough and not pulling it off, Dweezil. You're just
Maria
not pulling
Conchita
it off.
Alonso. Another one. Forgot she was in it. Maria Conchita Alonso.
Yes, Yaphet Kotto. He was needing to pick up a check
Kotto?
here.
Yeah. Yaphet Kotto and Maria Conchita.
Yes.
So that's next episode. But looking back at this episode, what are they called? Klingons. David from Sesame Street. Ohio State University.
Yes.
I gotta say, this has been a pretty good episode of the podcast.
This has been a damn good episode.
Yes, thank you. I agree with your statement. I was gonna say that myself, but I feel like you're the person who does the reviews and not me, and I didn't want to step on your toes or anything. But yes, I concur with your assessment, good sir.
So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve /Maitland. And on behalf of Natasha, Amber, Mal, Eleanor, Max, and everybody else, I just want to say thanks for listening. And we will see you next week, you godless heathens. And you douche ruffles and poopy tits.
And you imposter.
And Eleanor for bed. Okay. An Eleanor thing? There you go. Cookies. Okay. But I'll still need you to put it on. Do 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 do. Cut and print.
Put it on a cookie.
There you go. Thank you. That's
Cut and print.